line at an astonishing rate, with White scoring a late winner against LA Galaxy last week. He was excellent again against Atlanta, but left a bit isolated against Minnesota.
Brian White ready for the starting whistle, and here we go at BC Place. White and Gauld combining to touch the ball first here for the Whitecaps, and we are underway, and we'll see what Vite ahead for Ahmed, and just doesn't connect. It'll be a throw in for Vancouver.
Of course, no Samuel Piette as well, the captain, and that's a big miss of the experience we talked about that is really missing from the CF Montreal side.
But is there an opportunity here for Montreal with the loss of the Vancouver captain, Ngondo, into the box? He's all alone, gets a little push there. Vite collecting near the touchline, setting to Laborda. Vite inside for Berhalter. Berhalter chipping that for Brian White. There's the header, but easily stopped by Sirois, who goes to the ground to make sure that he collects that and keeps it in front of him.
On that height and with that lack of power, it's difficult to generate the power on the snap header there from Brian White. Easy one in the end for Sirois. But those are the types of goals and plays that the Whitecaps have been creating.
Stopped for a moment, and now it's out for a corner for Vancouver, second of the evening on that right side.
Not very tidy in the back from Montreal there. Stretching was Petrasso. Pierce couldn't keep it in play. After that nice switch from Berhalter, opened up Ahmed down the right side.
So now corner duty squarely on the shoulders of Sebastian Berhalter. Try to pick up some momentum and find themselves again after the departure of Ryan Gauld. Outswinging ball this time off the right foot of Berhalter. Far post, Blackman over the top. Sirois makes the stop.
Effort from Matthias Laborda. He's had an excellent start to the season. The right fullback, who from the set play able to get this opportunity on the overhead. It's quite a ways out, not a lot of power, but beautiful technique. Vancouver on a rope, these long throws from Blackman.
Minnesota scored this way versus Montreal last week. This one cleared outside the box, and Vite on the half volley nearly got that one. There's no better way to follow MLS this season than MLS 360. MLS 360 has covered with every goal, every storyline from every game. Join special guest host Max Bretos, Bradley Roy Phillips, Ashley Kleshin, and Dax McCarty live right now, so you don't miss a moment of the action.
You mentioned the goal that was scored by Minnesota, the only goal of the game when Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy was subbed off, but didn't go off on the far side of the field. Took his time getting off, was yellow carded, and that meant Gaboglo could not come on for 2 minutes. That's when Minnesota scored from a long throw. I really don't think it had an effect, though, on being short-manned in the back.
Berhalter and Ahmed have been looking at each other. That one's back, loose. Brian White will run to it, edge of the 6, and he won't get there in time to get the shot away. Second time this match where Jonathan Sirois has been an adventure there inside the box.
Yeah, and this time of no fault of his own. Goalkeeper's supposed to play outside of the frame of the goal, and then Pierce puts it in between the posts, and that has Sirois scrambling back and kind of awkwardly with the left leg facing his back, sticks out the left leg and able to clear it away.
Thank you, goalkeeper. Didn't mean to throw your
no, that's
constituent under the bus.
It has been an experience, though. The first one that went under his foot, that one he's at full stretch.
Berhalter, the in-swinger from that side. On the right foot, again far post. Left side of the foot there for Tate Johnson. Back out for Berhalter. Off a body, high in the air. Right near the spot now, bounding ball. Anybody's ball, edge of the 6, tucked in! Matthias Laborda on the board, and the Whitecaps strike first. It's 1-0 here at BC Place.
And not for the first time this year, Montreal again, shambolic inside their own 18. Pierce offensively, even from his fullback position. There's the ball into the box, again not dealt with. The Owusu can't clear it. And Laborda does a good job himself to free up the ball. as he wins it ahead of Craig and then just slots it underneath Sirois to get the opening goal of the game.
Tom Pierce doing the honors on that left foot. Booming ball. That one is dangerous. Into the box. Takaoka makes the stop, and it's cleared by Brian White. What an effort by Montreal and Tom Pierce in particular. That was perfect.
Yeah. Lots of power on that. Takaoka. He has a beautiful service from that left side. Terrific striker of the ball as well, and he put that one deep across the area. Goalkeeper couldn't come, and then when it was headed back across goal, he was scrambling Takaoka to keep it out.
You mentioned the word project earlier for Montreal as we see Saliba with the big diagonal switch from Pierce, and that's a good word because they're taking a chance. They are the youngest team in Major League Soccer right now by almost 2 years over the next youngest team as Pierce charges towards the area. And at the edge of the 6, Veselinovic able to clear. And Montreal does get an offensive set piece here as they head to the corner for the first time this evening. But it's aggressively young, though.
Yeah, I mentioned I'm looking through the birth charts, and the number of 2000s are blowing me away. And that is quite a distance, almost 2 years in terms of the age. A little bit more experience today, but we're missing Sammy Piet as the big one, the captain out.
Left foot being put to work here by Pierce, whipping that in towards goal. And Takaoka didn't even need to make the save as he got some help from Johnson. White ejects it out for Vite, gets around Duke. And now is there a counter here for the Whitecaps? No, nice play by Saliba to break it up.
There by Tate Johnson, another good ball in. He's so good with those. Pierce and Johnson just in front of his goalkeeper gets the left foot out. And now the in-swinger will come from the opposite side.
Pierce again on the left foot, curling that in, and Blackman pops it up with his head. Vite on the chest. Duke intercepts a little bit, but coming in to make a play is Kubas. Ahmed.
As well.
And that is it. The whistle goes to end this opening half. Highlighted by one that they dominated for the first half hour or so, but a strong finish to that first half for CF Montreal as we get you set here in the second 45 at BC Place. And Nathan Saliba controls for CF Montreal. Taken down for the early foul.
He's got the quickness. He's able to intercept there.
Ahmed available for Vite. Finds Ahmed. Ahmed with the cross. Pass right. Bounding towards the goal. Tate Johnson opening his MLS account. And it's 2-0 Vancouver.
It's an absolute dream debut for Tate Johnson, just 19 years old. Both fullbacks on the score sheet here for Vancouver as it's Ahmed looking for that final ball. That's an excellent cross. And Brian White takes out the defenders with his run. And wide open at the back post is Johnson. And when he hits it into the ground, it takes out the keeper Sirois, who gambled and dived to his right. And it left a gaping hole for the ball to bounce into. And Tate Johnson, a big smile.
Outswinger from Berhalter. Pumping that near the far post. Dropping down on a last ball for Vite. Sirois with an incredible stop.
He was finding himself in more dangerous areas. This time off the second ball, comes out from the header. He puts everything behind that. And perhaps it's too true because...
There for Vite. Once again for Berhalter. Low driving ball. Squirts back loose for Vite once more. This time he has to touch it back with Poku in his face. Gondo. Side for Ahmed. Anthony Vincent and Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy all come out a triple substitution here in the 61st minute for Montreal.
I asked Laurent Coupois about Vincent in particular. He's a player with so much ability, the quickest player on the team. And he is always constantly, it seems, to be fighting these niggling injuries that have really slowed down his progress. But he is a wild card. When he gets on the ball, he can create chances. He can score from just about anywhere around the area. And he gets a chance now for the first time to really make an impact with 30 minutes this season.
Gondo. Johnson. Ruddy trying to Disrupt for the first time in Gondo. A beautiful move around Craig. He's all alone in Gondo as he enters the area. And Gondo, the centering pass, loose. What a save by Sirois to Rob Vite again.
Really well in the last two opportunities from Pedro Vite. He's done really well with a couple of big saves earlier in the first two games as well. And you figure if not for Jonathan Sirois, that goals against, I'm seeing a third goal go in and possibly a fourth as well.
One of those Vite offerings has to go in, you'd think, but the goalkeeper has something to say about that as Vilsa's taken down by Blackman. And that would have surely ended. Gondo has Brian White as an option. Ahmed on the overlap on his right. And Gondo all by himself and dribbles off the fingers of Sirois for a corner.
You love that from a young player who might have the pressure to play in a Brian White down his left side, but if he's given the space, he's the central figure there. He just pulls back.
Swinging ball. Flicked away by Montreal. Kubas back for it. Looking for Brian White. Did get a piece of that. Sirois keeps that alive. Sure of Waterman. Diagonal ball into the corner. Caboclo able to come up with it, working against Laborda at the edge of the box. Waterman quarterbacking. Owusu touching that over. Nobody can get a shot away. There it is. So Clark, Owusu stopped by Takaoka. Out of nothing came something from Montreal, but Takaoka makes the save. White
from Yohei Takaoka. I don't know how much he knew about it. Good interchange there. And Owusu finds himself in front of goal and from point blank range tries to drive it. And it goes right at the Japanese goalkeeper. It just hits him in the leg.
Desperation offense meets desperation defense here late at BC Place. Laborda challenges. Karams off of Petrasso. Now Rios head to the box. He tries a shot off a body. Priso diving through to try to maintain possession, but it's Marshall running the other way. Jersey tug from Pedro Vite, and that was spotted. When the final whistle blows on Sunday Night Soccer, just know we're only getting started. Special guest host Max Bretos and the squad will kick off MLS wrap-up that'll guide you through, analyze, and debate the biggest, most thrilling moments of the match week here in Major League Soccer. So don't go anywhere, as MLS wrap-up will follow Sunday Night Soccer every single week right here on Major League Soccer. Vilson, through ball is there. Chance for Montreal, but Veselinovic cutting across to Rob Yankov.
Yeah, well read by the defender, but the pass from Vilson just that little bit too far. The alley was open, and it was smart from Vilson, but he didn't measure it quite well enough to trick Ranko Veselinovic.
Clark sending players in a position, drives the ball, rattles around at the edge of the 6, and a clear for Vancouver. Not a good one though. Marshall Ruddy tried to take one on a volley. He'll get it back now at the corner. Clark chipping that ball beyond, off the bar, still alive and now cleared. Not far, not done for Montreal.
Won't go in for Montreal. They've had some chances. Owusu thinks he's held here, and he may be. They'll have to look at that. He complained to the referee afterward. Is there a tug there from Laborda that prevents him from getting a better chance at that? And then the one that comes in from Clark goes right by Owusu. Just a touch, I think, there. Left the goalkeeper stranded.
Vilson at the spot. Veselinovic again can't get it deep. Montreal with a pulse. Laturi. Two young teams that don't have the history, perhaps. And there's the final whistle from Joe Dickerson. The Whitecaps, an unprecedented 3-0 to start this MLS regular season. 9 points out of the gate.